Welcome back to my garden.
Today I am so excited to talk about spring flowers.
But before that, I want to visit my old garden at my old house. So back then, my garden was really successful and it felt like beginner's luck. But now looking back, I know that part of my success was because I had so many flowers in my garden. The flowers brought in all sort of bees and beneficial insects, and they even gave the birds something to eat instead of my tomatoes. This year I planted
More flowers than ever before, and I am so excited to see them bloom. They've been bringing in bees, ladybugs, and hummingbirds in the past, so I'm excited to see what the new flowers will bring in this year.
Probably my favorite flower in the garden is my lavender. I planted it a couple years ago, around the time we bought our house, and it just gets more and more beautiful every year, and it's always extremely popular with the bees. The best part about the lavender is it needs very little water, and I've got plenty of uses for it around the house. Another favorite of mine is my Snapdragons. I have them in tons of colors, and they're really popular with the bees and the hummingbirds too. This is my first year with marigolds in the garden, but so far I am loving them. They produce lots of seeds that I've been able to plant elsewhere and have more marigolds for free. And now my dirty secret that I have not shared on this channel, my flower garden. I've been working so hard since we bought our house to develop this flower garden, but with the poor soil and the very limited amount of rain, it's been very difficult to get this garden to be beautiful, but I have high hopes for this year. In addition to the lavender, lantana, and other flowers that I already had in this garden, I have packed it this year with everything from calendula to gladiolas to marigolds to sweet alyssum and wildflower seeds. I won't list all of the new flowers that I'm growing in my garden this year because that would take way too long, but one of the ones I'm most excited about is gladiolas. I have tried to grow gladiolas every single year since I've owned a house, and the main problem is that the rabbits always come and eat the initial burst from the flower. And so this year I'm doing extra steps to prevent these from getting eaten by the rabbits, and I cannot wait to have these as gorgeous cut flowers in my house.
Of course, the flowers in your garden doesn't need to be limited to just things that you plant as flowers. If you let some things go to seed, the bees will love it. With all the new fruit trees that I've added to my garden this year, I want to make sure that I have lots of pollinators visiting my garden so that I get a good crop of fruit.
And speaking of citrus trees, I think it's time for a citrus tree update, don't you? My video on planting citrus trees is by far the most popular video on my channel, and people ask me all the time, how are they doing? Well, I didn't plant them all that long ago. It was just last fall, so less than a year ago, but so far they're doing really well. They haven't grown much in size because they've mostly been planted in the ground from the fall through the winter and then the early spring, so I haven't seen a lot of growth on them. But just a few weeks ago they did put on blooms and flowers, and we've got some teeny tiny little lemons on the tree. I haven't decided if I'm gonna pluck some of them off, but it's so exciting so far just to see them getting started. Now, in addition to the lemon and the lime tree, I did plant 2 pomegranate trees in my garden as well. I'm not super worried about those. They're extremely drought tolerant, and I'm sure they will absolutely explode this summer. And let me say, I cannot wait to have some homegrown pomegranates. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you'll add lots more flowers to your garden this year, and I'll see you in the next video.